Shoulder stand is the queen of the poses, and we don't want to miss out on that when we're doing a yin or a restorative practice. So let's see how to set this up. We'll start on our back with one block. Knees are bent, feet are hip width apart, and then we'll slide the block horizontally on the second height underneath of the sacrum, not underneath the fleshy part of the bottom or the lower back, but the triangular shaped flat bone at the lower spine. We'll tuck the shoulders underneath of the back and then flip the palms down before lifting one leg at a time, legs straight up towards the sky. The feet are pointed, but the toes are flexed back in a Barbie foot, toes together and heels slightly apart. If we want to go deeper into the posture, we'll bring the feet down, lift the hips, and then turn the block to the tallest height, once again securing it underneath of the sacrum. Once it's in place, tuck the shoulders under again, flip the palms down, and then one leg up and then the other leg up. Interlace the hands to rock the shoulders underneath more. Now, although this is a restorative shoulder stand, we still keep it active by pressing the head and shoulders into the floor, the hips into the block, and reach the balls of the feet upwards towards the sky. To lower, bring one leg down and then the other, remove the block, and slowly lower the hips. Rock the head side to side, and then even you can separate the feet and rock the knees side to side. Now we'll look at how to set up shoulder stand that's restorative but not using the block by having a blanket, a bolster, and then a blanket. We'll take the shoulders on the edge of the bolster to elevate the shoulders and have even more space underneath of the back of the neck. Notice that the head's not on the blanket. Place the hands down, lift the hips up and over. Interlace your fingers to rock your shoulders under, and the feet are wide apart to get even more leverage with rocking those shoulders under. Place the hands on the lower back as you lift both legs at the same time, and then we see the weight shift more into the elbows so that the legs go more upright. Press the shoulders into the bolster, the head into the ground, and then move the feet away from the face. Notice the feet, strong Barbie feet, toes together, heels slightly apart. And when you're ready to come out, lower both legs at the same time while arms extend behind you into Halasana or Plow Pose. You can keep those knees bent if you wish, and then using the fingertips to help you slowly lower with control all the way down. Now let's look at setting the hips up on two bolsters instead of a block. It's a little more challenging to get into, so be forewarned. You'll bring the legs up onto the bolster, scoot the hips in as close as you can get, feet down into the bolsters to scoot it even closer, and then feet go onto the other side as you position the hips up as high as you can. Then lift the legs up overhead and the shoulders tuck under, legs straight up in the sky. Another fun way to experiment with shoulder stands is with a blanket and a belt to keep the elbows closer together behind you. So we'll take the blanket in the eighth fold with the soft fold toward where your head is going to be, and then a belt with just a small loop. We're going to thread it around one arm and then take it behind the back and get the other arm also threaded. We don't want the belt buckle to be pressing into the back, so just ensure that that's away from you on the outside of the belt. And then once we get it secured right above the elbows, we'll tighten it up as much as we can, and then we'll lay down onto the blanket, and the head will go off the blanket, shoulders walk up to the very edge so that we have that space underneath of the neck. From here, hands will come down to the side, and then we'll lift the hips up and then tighten the belt even more in this position. Legs come up overhead, and then separate the feet, interlace the fingers to rock the shoulders underneath, getting more leverage. Hands go onto the back, and then the legs lift up into the air. Enjoy that extra support you get from the belt around your elbows in this position. Now let's see how a wall helps us out. So without any props, we're going to scoot on our side up to the wall to get the hips right next to it. And then roll onto our backs. Press the hands into the ground and press the feet into the wall to lift the hips up, rock the shoulders underneath. And the feet stay about knee height to drive the hips over the shoulders. Be sure to keep the back of the head pressing into the ground actively so that the curvature of the spine stays intact and there's space under the neck. And when you're ready to come down, just lower the hips, separate the hands, and rest with the legs up the wall. Let's see how we set this posture up with the bolsters and a belt. Stack the bolsters right next to the wall and have the belt right with you. Scoot up on your side to get close as you can to the bolsters first. And then you'll press on the wall, scooting forward, walking forward with your shoulders to get the hips up on the bolster. You can also do this by pressing into the wall, lifting the hips, and then sliding the bolsters under, but it might be even more challenging. We'll take the belt. This time we're going to thread it around both legs and place the belt right above the knees, or since we're upside down, right below the knees. And we'll cinch it so they stay together. The arms rest at the side with the shoulders underneath and the head rests comfortably. This is much more restorative than all the ones we've seen so far. To come out, first loosen up the belt, remove it, and then walk the shoulders away from the wall until the hips can rest. Now let's see how to assist this posture. We'll have the belt. This is a great gift to the student to help them in that position, because once they're in the posture, it's very hard to tighten that belt even more, and they'll love it. So we will position that belt right above the elbows and make sure that their arms can still be on the sides of their body so they can roll back into shoulder stand. We'll ensure that the shoulders are right on the edge and that the curved blanket is toward the neck, space underneath of the neck. Palms will face downwards, and then they'll lift their legs up overhead, separating their feet. And if their hamstrings are tighter, that's why we have the blanket back there underneath of the toes to lift the floor up to the feet. And we can also use a taller bolster or 2 blocks if we wish. Now you see me tightening up the belt now around her arms. This will go as tightly as you can go, so check in with your student to make sure it's tight enough. Place the hands on the back. She'll lift both legs at the same time. And then I'll remind her to press the shoulders into the floor and make space. Now my feet go on either side of her elbows. I'll have her bend her knees and wrap her legs around my waist as I slide underneath with my forearms, bending my knees to protect my back. And you see me rocking gently side to side to help her shoulders get underneath even more so. Ensuring that the thighs are internally rotating so that the toes are together and heels are slightly apart. I'll see if the belt needs to tighten up a little bit more so, while reminding Rachel to press upwards with the balls of her feet and to not look side to side, as that compromises the neck safety. Coming once up to the top to check everything out. And when they're ready to lower, you'll advise them to lower both legs over their head until they find that support underneath of their toes. You'll release the belt first around their arms so they have more freedom. And then they'll slowly lower the legs. You can assist them with this if you need to, just by pressing your hands on the back of the legs to slow it down. And then lowering their feet, pressing their shoulders down and letting them rock their head side to side to loosen up that neck. Great work.